FastX has now arrived in theaters, and it's said to be the first of a 3-part conclusion to the saga. One last ride. Again. And ever since these movies started using their cars for skydiving instead of driving, this franchise has fully embraced the summer blockbuster popcorn vibe and fully left reality in the dust. Story has been sacrificed for big set pieces, and the characters have evaporated and just become the names of the actors playing them. So my question is, when are we finally going to say goodbye to the Fast franchise? Let's talk about it. What's up everyone, and welcome back to Jones Vibes. If you're new to my channel, I talk about all things movies and television, and when you're here, you're family. And today I'm talking about FastX. I'm gonna be talking spoilers, so there's your warning, and I'm also gonna be giving my star rating a little bit later in the video. But the Fast franchise is an interesting one for me. I was a big fan of the first movie growing up, and then the sequel was fine, and Tokyo Drift is honestly underrated, but after that, things got a little shaky. I mean, Fast 5 was alright, and I didn't mind Fast 7 purely just because of the Paul Walker send-off, but that's pretty much it, personally. I know some people out there probably love some of the other movies, but I find myself just getting a little frustrated by the lack of story and depth and the elevation of just pure octane spectacle, most of which is just absurdly stupid, to put it plainly. And then there was this movie, and I gotta say, after seeing the first trailer, I was a little interested. I feel like they always have a way of just kind of roping me back in. But now, after seeing it, let me just ask, did you see this movie? Because I did, and I thought it was absolutely awful. It was terrible, and if you know my channel, you'll know that I make an effort to keep things really positive around here. But when something is bad, I'm sorry guys, but it's just bad. And that's what frustrated me so much about this. With all of the money that was spent on this movie, this is really the best that they could come up with? I'm sorry to rant, but it feels like a slap in the face to audiences worldwide, because this is how highly that they think of us. We deserve better, and if we continue to accept movies like this, they're just gonna keep making them. We should be able to have better storytelling than this. Like, I compare it really to the Mission Impossible franchise, because there's a night and day difference. When I watch Tom Cruise in those movies, he becomes Ethan Hunt every time, and the stunts are huge and practical, and the score is beautiful, but the heart of each movie is the story. And the Fast franchise had that once upon a time, but now I just see Vin Diesel. I don't see Dominic Toretto, because they keep dressing him in the same damn mechanic shirt, showcasing that this character has not evolved in 10 movies. Blockbusters should be more than this. Some of them still are, and they definitely used to be. Movies like Speed and Point Break and Die Hard, full of character development and honest emotion. And with this movie, I've seen a lot of people already tweeting out the old, "It's meant to be a popcorn flick and just sit back and have a fun time. It's a thrill ride" response. And I find that a little bit irritating because, once again, we deserve better. All I'm trying to say is that you don't have to like this movie just because they put a bunch of movie stars in it, as if we're supposed to praise that or something. We as fans can demand a little more than that. But anyway, my initial reaction was that FastX, it just felt disjointed. I was sitting in the theater and it was just constantly jumping all over the place, and the humor really did not land for me. Every line was either a cheesy joke or an inspirational quote, and like I said, the characters just vanished for me. I only saw Ludacris and John Cena and Jason Statham. Most of them seemed like they didn't have their heart in this at all. The only person that kinda did was really my only positive takeaway, and that was Jason Momoa as Dante. His flamboyant, Joker-esque character did end up getting a little bit old for me by the end of the movie, but there were moments where he tapped into something interesting. There was this scene where he has these dead bodies and he's like talking to them. I found that pretty funny, but I just wanted more of that. And the plot was basically that his character is out for revenge against Toretto and the gang after the murder of his father in the bank heist at the end of Fast 5. And I get what they were going for, like, it's time for this family to lose. Setting this up as kind of the Infinity War to the next two kind of being the end game. They're trying to raise the stakes. And obviously there were some huge explosions, there was a bomb being dragged through Rome, and Vin Diesel backs a car out of a plane, and I don't know, what else did I expect, I guess? Really, I just wish that they would ground the heck out of this franchise again. Somehow just take it back to the small world of street racing. Because there was a scene in this movie where all of a sudden there was some street racing going on, and I was like, okay, sweet, let's do it. But then there was some bombs and people dying and big explosions, and I was like, oh my gosh. You can have high stakes without that, and that's why we loved the first movie. The story was great, and it was semi-grounded. But yeah, this movie was just way too all over the place for me to care, and by the time that twist happened, where Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State was actually the bad guy too, and all that stuff, I was already checked out. They left it on this cliffhanger, and I don't really care what happens next. To be honest, guys, I don't think I'm gonna see the next one. I wish that they could just do better, but honestly, that's all I really have to say about this movie. As for my star rating, I think this is actually a first on my channel. I'm giving this movie 1 out of 5 stars. Personally, it just wasn't my cup of tea, but maybe it was yours, and if it was, that's okay. Don't let me rain on your parade, because maybe you saw something that I didn't. But please, don't hesitate to leave all of your thoughts down in the comments and start the conversation. Also, if you stuck with me this far, hit the like button. I'd appreciate the support, and also I'd love to see you come back, so hit subscribe because there's a lot more content on the way. But the Fast franchise just keeps on trucking, no pun, and we can safely expect at least 2 more movies. But will they just be more of the same? I guess we'll see.